I've told you over and over again that our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong, right? And that earth is not heaven and man is not God. And hell is right here on earth inside of human beings. And that in my country and around the world, but in my country, America first, it's only going to get worse. It cannot get better. It's going to get worse. So either you get busy and overcome the world, or you live in your world and suffer. In the world, you're of it, in it, and of it. And you just suffer. It's totally up to you. A way has been made that in spite of all the hell around you coming through other people, you do not have to be affected. There is a kingdom of heaven within, another way of living. You can escape this world spiritually and live from the new world spiritually, or you could stay in the old world spiritually and physically and suffer. It's up to you. The truth, the light, is not going to force you to do it. It's going to leave you wherever you want. He gave you a gift of life, and he let you do whatever you want with that life. Because it's a gift. He can't tell you what to do with it. It's a gift. But what I want to tell you, and then I move on, is that, and we talked about this in the fellowship yesterday at rebuildingtheman.com/church. If you want to be free, you got to stop thinking. All you do is stop thinking and it's done. A mind is a terrible thing to save. I want you to know you cannot think your way out of your troubles. You cannot think your way into perfect peace. You cannot think your way into thinking you know what you want. You cannot think your way into thinking you know what you need. All of your thinking will always be wrong. You just think yourself into more hell. That's all you're going to do. You consult with evil thought after thought after thought. Really. You can't think your way upon the perfect wife or the perfect husband. Thinking is not going to do it. It's impossible. Impossible. That's what you are to me. Impossible. Yeah. It's impossible to think your way out of your troubles. You're not going to do it. If you want to overcome problems, if you want to overcome suicidal thoughts, if you want to overcome loneliness, if you want to overcome depression, revenge, jealousy, envy, strife, worried about what others think about you, or wanting to be like someone else, you want to be Charlie Kirk, or you want to be Martin Luther King Jr., or Malcolm X. Oh, Malcolm X, they say. You're not going to, if you want to overcome whatever, loneliness, fear, doubt, comparing yourself to others, if you want to overcome that anger, anger and revenge, you got to stop thinking. The moment you stop thinking, it's over. Isn't that amazing? It's so simple, but yet so difficult because your little psychiatrist, psychologist, your counselor tell you all kind of crazy stuff because they haven't stopped thinking either, and then they give you pills. And then you take the pills, now you're dominant as ever. Dominant a doorknob. So For those who want to overcome all those things, insecurity, shyness, whatever. You want to overcome all that? Stop thinking. All of those thoughts are not yours. It's impossible for you to have and create your own thought or thoughts. You cannot do it if you try. So why don't you stop thinking? A perfect life is a non-thinking life. Won't you give it a try? Just see what happens since what you're doing is not working. It's not working. Why don't you stop? This is hell on earth. Your families don't love you. Your wife, your husband don't love you. Your adult children don't love you. Your mama don't love you. Your daddy don't love you. Your friends don't love you. Nobody loves nobody. It's human love is not love. It's hate. The great white hope, Donald Trump, is doing the best any president in my lifetime has ever done. And a lot of people don't love him. They love him until they get disagreement, and then they hate him. Even the people on the right, they love Donald Trump until he says or does something that they don't agree with, and then the love is gone. That love turns to hate so fast it makes your head spin because they never loved him. In spite of the amazing work he's doing, like no other president in recent history has done. And they loved him at first, and then down the road, they disagreed with something he said or did, and now they don't love him. Doesn't it remind you of your own personal lives? Stop looking for love. You're not going to find it in yourself or in others. News Channel 5 is reporting. In a town hall at Nashville Gordon Jewish Community Center, area Jews told News Channel 5 investigator that they are now feeling anti-Semitism from both far-right extremists and far-left, but an unlikely encounter between a neo-Nazi and a woman who represented everything he thought he hated resulted in something completely unexpected. I don't understand that either, but watch this from News Channel 5.
So many people have just never really gotten to know a Jewish person.
That's right. And we're not that big of a deal, you know, like...
For members of the Jewish community that I met for this conversation...
MTSU professor told me that another professor asked him to show him his horns because he was Jewish.
One, however, had a very different confrontation with hate.
Wake up, America! It's the Jews!
Tell me about that day that you were on Broadway.
So that day has turned into several months.
Oh, take care of your daughter.
She's scared of you.
On that Sunday afternoon on Nashville's Lower Broadway last summer, the neo-Nazi group, known by their acronym GDL, was spouting their anti-Semitic rhetoric to anyone who would listen.
I was down there, and we had some girls from Israel that were staying with us, and I was with a friend. And we had our kids down there, and it was just a day that I was just done with it.
This video from the GDL live stream shows when Melissa first got into the middle of the group's protest as they tried to recruit followers with their flyers.
I watched people say, well, what are you talking about? Where'd you get this idea? And they're able to pull them in.
I think one of the dumbest conversations I ever heard, I've heard many, but one of the dumbest conversations I ever heard was someone said, well, you just don't know a white person. You just don't know a black. You just don't know a Jew. Like you got to know them to love them. What the? Most of the time when you know people, you don't love them, right? But just because you know someone, that means you're going to love them. the woman became angry with the claim of the neo-Nazi. I don't even know what that is, but okay. Watch this.
You Jews are very selfish with your questions.
The more she listened to their hateful claims about Jews, the angrier she got.
Like, I don't know, I was just not in the mood, right?
But you got in their faces.
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I was done with it.
Guys, I am 4'11".
Wait, yeah,
I am standing around a bunch of white men.
Yeah, we know you're not scared of us.
Yeah.
As a result of this encounter, Melissa began talking and texting for months with this GDL member from California. She says he eventually told her she was the first Jew he'd ever met.
He's just learning stuff off of the internet, and it's being reinforced constantly along with people. So he has these wild misconceptions about what Judaism looks like, what Jews are. It was actually a positive conversation that came out of it.
Is he still a member of GDL?
No, he's not.
What it took, she thinks, was getting him to finally see a Jewish person as a fellow human being, a thought that occurred to her when she attended the trial of Ryan McCann, the Canadian GDL member who was recently convicted for his assault of a young Jewish man.
I just wonder how it would have turned out if this person would have just made a Jewish friend from the get-go.
That's dumb, lady. Friends don't even like one another, so that's dumb. What's she doing down there anyway? Why her husband let her go down amongst angry people and get involved? What's wrong with her? Just because you know someone, that don't mean you're going to love them. You just haven't met, you don't know white people, you don't know black people, you don't know Jewish people, you don't know gay people, you don't know lesbians, you don't know. That's dumb. That's a dumb conversation. You don't have to know someone to not hate them. Amazing. How you sit and have that kind of conversation, I don't know. And if you don't love all, you love none. What are you saying, Nick? Anchor baby.
Well, I don't know this GDL group or anything about them.
What's a GDL mean?
I don't even know what that stands for, but that was the group she was talking to.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know anything about them.
The Goyim.
The Goyim Defense League.
What does Goyim mean?
I believe that's a word that means non-Jews,
Oh.
Gentiles. But I think it's like a mean one.
Yeah, he said mean non-Jews.
Look, all I'm saying is this GDL group, I don't know anything about them, but we just, in the snippets we saw, she didn't really say what was wrong that they said. She's like, they got all these wrong ideas. And so it was a pretty bad news segment. They could have done better on that. And two, it sounded like she was saying, I'm surrounded by these white men and I'm the threat. So what are you saying? White men are a threat?
That's a good point.
On account of being white? Like, what is it? I'd like to ask her that question.
It's amazing to see whites and Jews fighting like blacks and whites. Fight. Whites and Jews are fighting the way blacks and white people fight. Why don't y'all understand? Everybody want to fight. War is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. Let me go to Chris, a first-time caller out of Ohio. Chris, you are on the air.
Hey, what's happening, man?
All
Been
this-
watching you a long time.
Thank you, Chris.
I don't hear you.
Go ahead. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I just one little thing. You know, it's just bugged me for quite a while. Is you know, I don't have nothing against the Jews. Never did. I was raised Catholic and Christian. You know, all that. But I just wonder, man, because I've always felt the kinship with the Native Americans, and I always wondered why is it such a big thing about 2 million Jews that were unalived, as you might say. You know, they were wiped out. But 50 million Native Americans were wiped out here, but we never talk about it. And I'll just stop there because I'll start rambling.
And
but maybe someone can think of
And your question for me is what about that?
why? Why is it always just the Jews are illuminated and talked about, but we never really talk about the humans that were here before? 50 million before the United States was established.
What's a
and they were wiped
native?
out.
What's a Native
American, the indigenous people that were living here.
The Indians?
Yes, sir.
Why are they called Native American?
I don't know why. What name? I could call me whatever you want.
Why do you call them Native
Because
American?
that's the name that I've heard. That's
Chris,
all I have
Chris.
to use.
Hey, Chris.
Yo.
They are Indians. Why do you call them Native American? Because when the Indian was living on the land and doing nothing with it, it wasn't American.
Yeah, well, I get that. I get your point wherever you're going. But my point is
why do you call
I don't.
it?
Hey, Jess, let me just make the
Jesse.
point that I'm making. I don't care, Jesse. There was 2 million Jews killed. They make a big issue about it. 50 million humans were killed here, and we don't ever talk about it. That's all.
Well, maybe because the Jews tend to have world influence, and the Indian have none.
Right.
You think that might be what it is?
Well, yeah, the power.
You
power
notice that the Indians,
and they're still,
they're
still getting ripped off.
Chris, you notice that the Indians don't have any influence at all?
Yeah, they don't even let them in the UN.
But they don't want any influence. They just want to sit around and smoke peyote.
Yeah, that's bullshit, man. Because
Don't be
sorry,
cursing.
I swore, but I've been there.
Hey,
I've
you
been there. I
can't
said
curse.
sorry. I said that. I said sorry.
Oh,
but
okay. All right.
Yeah, I ain't trying to do that, but I've been to a lot of powwows, and I've talked. There's some pretty intelligent people there, man, and it's not
Then
like
why
they
don't
all
they-
want to sit around and drink and just smoke weed, bro.
Well, why don't
it's
they
just not happening.
Why don't they take care of themselves and be creative?
Well, they do. They have, but they get crushed, man.
What,
you have been,
Chris, what is it that they are doing and they were crushed? What were they doing?
They were living here.
No, what have they been doing?
They were living here,
Chris,
and they were eliminated.
Chris, what have they done in the last 70 years and they were crushed?
Well, they were crushed all that 70 years. What do you mean?
What
They're
were
still
they
trying
doing?
to take their land and mining the uranium and letting them mine there and dying? Come on, man.
Chris.
Yeah, that's all right. I know that, they weren't
Chris,
as productive as our big government here.
Chris, in the last 70 years, what have they done or were they done? And I'm asking for education purposes. What were they doing and they were crushed?
Living off the land.
What do you mean living off the land?
They live off the land.
So they weren't doing
They're the
anything.
2 million,
Are you saying they
yeah.
weren't doing anything productive?
Well, I don't know. If they were living. Isn't that productive? How much do you got to do? Too much productivity would just eat up the earth. If everybody decided to be super productive, wouldn't the earth be to eat up?
But if they weren't doing anything, how can they be crushed?
Well, just like you crush a bug, it's alive, it's sitting there, you stomp on it, you crushed it, didn't you?
But didn't we give them casinos?
No, give them casinos. They shouldn't even had to be like you give it to them. They tried to take their machines from them, and they stood up and took the shit back. Sorry, I said it again.
Chris, you can't curse on this show. We have
phone. I'm sorry, man. Sorry.
Why don't you drop your anger?
Well, because I get worked up, man.
But why don't you drop your anger?
I've always people in my neighborhood, everybody that was being beat up, and we always stood up for them and took care of them, and the women, girls, we stood up for them and took care of them and protected them, bro.
Why don't you drop your anger?
Well, okay, right now, okay. Boom.
No, Matthew, why don't you
It's
drop?
gone.
What good is it doing you to be angry?
Well, if you don't realize that something is wrong, you're going to get angry, and then you have to channel that and turn that into something creative.
What good is it doing you to be angry?
Well, I don't stay angry. I just get worked up, man, because
what good is it doing you to be angry?
Yeah. It makes my heart pump good.
So
yeah.
What good is it doing you to be angry, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know, but it can drive you to actions.
You can't take action unless you're angry?
No, I'm saying it can drive you to action.
If you had no
It
anger,
ain't always good.
if you had no
they're not always
anger,
good.
if you had no anger, you wouldn't do anything?
Well, no, anger made me stand up for people. When I see this bully and somebody needed to stand up for somebody that was helpless.
Amazing. Do you love the Jews?
I love humans.
Do you
All
love the
humans.
Jews?
I don't. Is that a name? Which Jews?
Do
you got the Israel people. You got them split between each other. So which group should I like?
Do you love the Jews?
I love the Jews. I love Africans. I love Americans.
Chris, do you love the
Christians.
Jews?
I said that already.
Do you love the Jews?
Yeah, I love the Jews. I love they're humans, ain't they?
Do you love the Jews, Chris?
I love the Palestinians too that got killed.
Do you love
Holy
the
mackerel.
Jews?
I said I love the Jews already. What more do you want?
But I asked if you love the Jew, but you tell me about other people. And I didn't ask about others.
Well,
I
I'm
only
just
asked
saying
you,
they're in the they're in the same group.
I only asked you, do you love the Jews?
Yeah, they're the same as anybody else. Yeah, I love them like I do anybody else.
Is it possible to have love and hate?
Yeah, some people love to hate.
Amazing. Thank you, Chris.
Right?
I appreciate it.
Take it easy, brother.
All right, buddy. 888-775-3773. Let me go to first-time caller, Rose out of New Zealand. Heard around the world by everybody and they mama if you're black. Everybody and their mama if you're white. Rose.
Hi. Hi, Jesse. Yeah, I'm Rose.
Hey, Rose.
How are you?
All is well. Thanks for asking.
That's good. Yeah, the first time caller, I didn't really have a question as such. I just kind of wanted to see what your opinion is about, the investigation about everything that's going on with Charlie Kirk. And, do you think that it's really true what the Trump administration and the FBI are saying to us? It feels like a bit... Pardon?
You say, go ahead, you finish your point.
There's just so many other videos and facts and things coming out. It just seems that a lot of people are moving on so fast from his death, and, there wasn't a proper investigation after there was like concrete poured on, the Utah site. There was just a lot of dodgy things, like kind of cover-ups, and yeah, and I just, my eyes have been kind of open to a lot lately.
Right.
I am a Christian. I do believe in God.
You do?
Yeah.
And when you say your eyes have been open to a lot, like what? Give me an example of what your eyes have been open to.
Just like the whole Benjamin Netanyahu, like trying to control TikTok and what the young ones see, and, realizing like a lot of the politicians are being paid to speak Israel first and things like that. I love Jews. I'm not against Jews at all, but I just don't like what AIPAC and what the Israeli Prime Minister is doing to like America, and it's affecting other countries as well.
And why don't you like it? How are you being affected by it?
Well, I'm just more seeing like it just feels like ethnic cleansing, like the way I see it.
How are you being affected by it?
Well, just more, I kind of wanted to get your take on it. Like it was more something I'm realizing.
So you asked me about the Charlie Kirk thing, right?
Yeah.
And what did you want to know about that?
Well, I just wanted to know what you think about, do you believe really the take that the FBI has about how they think he was really killed? Or do you think they're hiding things?
Oh, I see. So they think he was really killed by an evil guy on top of a roof, and you want to know how I feel about that?
Like, do you believe that it was that young man, or do you believe he's been set up and the FBI lying to a lot of Americans?
Oh, I see. No, I haven't thought about that at all.
Okay.
Now, do you believe that?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you believe it?
been-
Why do you believe it?
I've been looking into a lot of different footages and just looking at different angles, and it's just hard to believe that.
But the footages that you're looking at are just people saying a bunch of stuff with no proof. Why do you believe them, and why is it important to you at all?
Well, I have family that, are hunters, and the gun that they named and things like that, you couldn't be able to break that down into a barrel and put it in a bag, and just the things that have been said, like...
I know, but what happened to
sense.
Charlie Kirk? Allegedly, some guy shot him. Why does that concern you at all?
Well, if you were to find out that it wasn't, that wasn't the truth, how would you feel?
So what now?
If it was a family member that, would you keep searching for the truth, or would you just be like, okay, the FBI told me this is what it is, so I'm going to believe it?
I wouldn't even think about it. That's between them. It had nothing to do with me. And I know that human beings are evil, so you expect these things to happen to her. So I wouldn't even waste 1 iota of a minute thinking about it. That's what I'm trying to understand. Why are you even thinking about it at all? You're in New Zealand. Why are you thinking about what happened to Charlie Kirk at all?
I just more. There's a lot going on.
But this is hell on earth. You could expect that. And you have so far. You haven't given me any evidence that any of what you believe is true. Why are you believing those things when you have no proof?
Well, it's very obvious that how can people move on with their life so happily in his team without, there's no signs of grieving at all. Like, I've grieved a lot of family, and there's no signs of them actually grieving in the way that's they're just excited and happy, but they're, and
but
just
what I'm talking about, you have no proof at all of what you believe. Why are you coming to a conclusion, and why do you get so into conspiracy theory?
Because it's not conspiracy. Like, the FBI, what I'm saying is the FBI, they've been covering up things for years. I mean, you know that with the Epstein files, like so many different things.
What did they cover up with the Epstein file?
Oh, well, they obviously they couldn't release names of things of people who were on them.
But
they said they had files on their desk and this
if
and that.
If your name was on the Epstein file, would you want it to be released?
Well, my name's not on the Epstein file, but I'm saying why would Trump...
Would you want it to be released if your name was on there? Let's say you were one of the sluts that was at the party, and you went, you had a good time, you made a lot of money. Would you want your name to be released?
That's not me. What I'm saying is Donald Trump said he was going to release it. He did it.
Would you want your name to be released?
And now Charlie Kirk was killed.
Would you want your name to be released?
Donald Trump said he was going to release it.
Would you want your name to be released?
If I was a victim, or if I was... What are you talking about?
No such thing as a victim. But if you were at Epstein party and you were having a hootenette every time, and then somebody...
I wouldn't know. Jesse, this is a solid topic.
And somebody got mad, and now they want to know everybody else's business. Would you want your name to be released?
Well, if I was doing things that were immoral and it was illegal, I mean, yeah.
You would want your name to be released?
If I was doing wrong and my name was released, what I'm saying is you're voting for someone, or, Donald Trump, when he's literally, him and his whole government are covering.
But you're not answering my question.
Yeah, but this is how you try and get people.
No, I know.
Like, you're not answering my question either, brother.
Trump never said what you said he said anyway.
No, but he did say,
So you're saying stuff that's not true. Trump never said what you said that he said. You're like one of those conspiracy theorists. You're making up stuff.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. But, his government, like his Pam Bondi and stuff said she had the files on her desk. There's just all sorts of things. But may I ask you, like, what is your stance on Israel taking over media in America?
I don't know if Israel is taking over media or America. What's your stance? I don't have any proof of that. What's your stance on that?
Well, look at the videos that Bibi's literally saying himself that that's what he's going to do. That's not a conspiracy theory.
What's your stance on that?
My stance is just that he should focus on Israel and keep the politics completely out of other countries when it comes to.
Are you an American or a New Zealand?
Well, this is not just to do with it. It affects the whole world. I'm in New
American,
Zealand.
And so why does it concern you what happens to America?
Well, I mean, we have a FBI agent, FBI office that Cash Patel opened in Auckland, so it does actually affect.
What is it like? You said something that Trump did not say.
No, what I was saying was that he did, say that.
You're not answering any of my questions. What is it like for you saying something that Trump did not say?
He did say that.
You see how you put that out there? There's no proof.
He said he was going to release the files when he was doing his thing.
And then other conspiracy people would believe that because they heard you say something that was not true.
No, but he said it himself. Like, I'll send you the video.
Did you say you're a Christian?
Yeah. Well, I believe in Christ, yes.
You do?
Yeah.
How do you know?
How do I know I believe in Christ? I know that he died on the cross. He resurrected on the third day. And
right. You know that happened because you read it, but how do you know you believe in him?
I believe in him because I've had experiences with him.
Like what?
I went most of my life not knowing him at all, and then I didn't know anything to do with Christianity and I opened the Bible one time after my sister died, and I had all these flashbacks, and I started...
Rose, how do you know you believe in him?
I know that I believe in him. I know he's real.
How you know?
He spoke to me after my sister died telepathically.
Did he ask you, if you're a Christian, why are you so concerned about things that's not even relevant to your life? Did Christ ask you about that?
No. He did say something important to me, though.
Do you think Christ would want to know, Rose, you live in New Zealand. Why are you concerned about things that are not relevant to your life? It has nothing to do with you. Do you think Christ would want to ask you that?
Well, it's more just about knowing, like, the truth. So many people out there lying.
No, you're not answering the question. Do you think Christ would want to know from Rose? Rose, if you're a Christian, why are you concerned about things that's not even relevant to your life or has anything to do with you? Would Christ want to know why you're into all that?
I mean, sure, I'll talk to him about it. Because when
Charlie was
assassinated, I felt...
What did he say when you talked to him about it?
What do I say?
What did Christ say when he told you to stay out of it?
Well, I just keep praying about it.
Well,
you don't hear...
To pray
I don't
what?
hear him audibly talk to me every
What do you
moment.
pray about? What do you say when you pray about it?
I pray all sorts. I do pray for the persecuted Christians. I pray...
What do you say when you pray?
Truth will be revealed in the world, but I just feel like...
Rose, what do you say when you pray?
What I'm trying to say, Jesse, I don't have much time left because it's real expensive and to call you guys. I think.
What do you say when you pray?
Well, what do you say when you pray?
No, what do you say? You pray about it. I don't pray about that mess. What do you say when you pray?
That's between me and Jesus, behind closed doors.
Amazing. Rose,
bless you, Jesse. It was nice talking, but I just need to say before I go that...
Rose, thanks for your call. I appreciate it. I got to take a break. The hate news, not the fake news, is coming. I'll be back in a moment, straight to your calls and your super chats. Back in a moment. Let me go to Brandon, a first-time call out of Indiana. Brandon, you are on the air.
Well, hello, Mr. Jesse.
Hey, Brandon.
How are you?
All is well.
All is well. Great. I'm very tickled to talk to you. Thank you for allowing me to be a guest on your show and what you do for the community. If I seem a little awkward, I'm sorry. You're a big inspiration to me, but I'm sure that you first meet people probably fairly often with a similar situation. I just wanted to kind of say that just in case if I come off a little weird or something speaking with you.
No, don't worry. Are you working on yourself?
Always die a little bit every day, right? Is that what it says to do? We all die a little every day as a Christian, right?
And so are you working on yourself?
Yes.
By doing what? How are you working on yourself?
Right now, I struggle a lot. I'm a single man, and I don't have children, and I want children, and I want a wife.
Why?
So I fight. Having a real hard devotion to God does not come across, I don't think, females' minds as attractive as much as maybe it used to be.
And why do you want a wife and children?
Because there's purity, and I can teach.
What?
And
There's
purity.
What's
purity?
What do you mean by that?
The children. I want a kid just because they're, it's enjoyable. I like to have a wife and kids would be wonderful to me because I could spend time with them. I wouldn't feel so lonely. I would be able to carry on, my name and have something to basically teach all my skills to.
Are you a Christian?
I would consider myself. I mean, yes, Jesse. Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so what made you think that having a wife and children would prevent you from being lonely?
I want to have something to share my home with. I get lonely by myself in my home, and I don't go out into society much because.
Why do you think having a wife and children would prevent you from being lonely?
Because they would fulfill my needs for, I know you're probably trying to say that I don't need a wife and kids to not be lonely.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm asking. I'm trying to understand why you think. You're reading into what you think I'm saying, but I'm asking you, why do you think having a wife and children would prevent you from being lonely?
Because I'll have someone to share life with.
But you never met one person on the planet who have wife and children and don't experience loneliness.
True, but I think that
why would it be different for you?
I hope that it's not negative. I don't want I know a lot of people hear marriage and they automatically think all ball and chain. But for one, I would like to have I would like to have a healthy sex life, Jesse. And, I'm not supposed to do that unless I'm married.
So you want to get married to have sex?
Not just that reason, Jesse, but I would like to experience a healthy sex life. I would.
What is a healthy sex life?
Doing it through God.
Doing it through God? What do you mean?
You got to get married. You're supposed to be, don't you think? I'm pretty sure the Bible directs that you're supposed to be married before you have sex.
I don't know if the Bible said that or not.
Well, I know it's the Bible. It may say.
I'm not saying it doesn't say that. Is there anywhere in the Bible where it says you're supposed to be married before you have sex?
I know it talks about fornication, and that word is deciphered many ways. I know, depending on who you talk to and how they interpret the Bible and all that. But
does the Bible say you're supposed to be married before you have sex?
I don't think it says that directly. No, sir.
So then why did you say that?
Because that's if I go into churches and stuff like that, I don't know. That's just how I take it from how God directs it and how he delivers his word from the Bible. It seems that he doesn't want you having sex until you're married.
And does the Bible say you're not to have sex until you're married?
I don't think it says directly. I don't know if it does or not, Jesse, to be honest, but I don't think it says it. Like,
so then why did you say it?
Because of how most of churches believe, I guess, Jesse.
Why do you believe what the church believes?
Well, I'm not being argumentative. I'm just...
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not arguing. We're not arguing at all. I'm trying to understand. That's all.
The church, in my mind, is God's heart. So, but it's good for us to go into the building and fellowship, right? He wants us to fellowship. But it seems when you go into a church, it's just a big thing when you go out and people see, you know, one of the first things if you ever take a lady in, are you guys living together? Are you guys married? You know, and if the answer is yes, we're living together and we're not married, there's a lot of frown.
Let me ask you this because of time. You're a Christian, right? You say?
Yes, sir.
And what does it mean to be a Christian for you?
From what believing in the gospel and that God rose and came, you know, the Messiah, Jesus, whatever, came and died for our sins and rose again. And have faith in him and want to go to heaven. I'd say that is the baseline for being
and you say Jesus rose or whatever. But let me ask.
Jesus rose. Well, I was just there.
If you believe in God, how is it possible to be lonely and believe in God?
There's a lot of differences in mine as far as interpretation of the Bible, and I get irritated with how there's so much separation because of how many different people believe so much different things and in how they interpret the Bible. You know, I think it should all be one thing, but that's not.
But I asked you, you said you get lonely and you believe having a wife and children will fulfill the loneliness. How is it possible to be lonely and believe in God?
I guess it's not the Jesse.
So then why do you feel lonely then?
I don't know. I guess I feel maybe not lonely, but I feel, Lord, how can I say this? I wish I could talk to God, you know, like a lot of people claim that, you know, they've talked to him and they see him and stuff like that. I've never talked to God, Jesse. I'd suffer and struggle every day just to know he's there. You know, it's a constant grueling problem. I think I'm even getting to a point to where I'm having some, maybe a little bit of mental issue where I do struggle with his existence so much because I grieve about it so much, you know, because Jesse, if there's no Jesus and God, nothing matters. There is no purpose for anything, you know, and, be nice to know he's there, you know. But everybody,
so
I think everybody wants God to be there, Jesse, you know. And I think that's why there's a lot of rebellion.
If you believe in God, why are you having all this conflict?
Yeah. I guess maybe that's my problem. I guess, Jesse, my faith is not where it should be, I suppose.
And where should it be?
It should be there. I should have faith. But, you know, I also want to, that's what I struggle with, just that situation there. I'll bounce back and forth, you know.
And
one day I'm, yeah.
One day you what?
I'm sorry?
You said one day you what?
One day I'm believing in God and everything's hunky-dory, and then I see things happen and I'll put two and two together on things, and it's just like something's not right here.
Is it possible that you don't believe in God, you just believe about God?
I don't know. Jesse, I know I struggle a lot with it. I want there to be a God, you know.
Is it possible you don't believe in God, you just believe about God?
I See, that's the thing. I don't want to lie to you. I I devote every second of my life every day for whatever God wants me to do, and I want to do what He wants me to do. So I hold my light bright as I can for the world. And
is it possible you believe about God and not in God?
It could be possible, yes, sir. But I'm trying to. I don't know if that's a yes or no answer. That's my struggle. I hope there's a God. I believe that it is possible because it's the most correct leadership form of or anything that we have.
And
the Bible's never been proven wrong. Who am I?
Who are you?
God's child, Brandon.
So, I'm sorry, who are you?
God's child, and my name is Brandon.
Okay, so you say you're God's child, so you say you belong to God. You say your name is Brandon, but who are you? You told me your name, and you told me who you think you belong to, but you didn't tell me who you are.
I am a living being that struggles between good and evil every day and tries to stay on the straight and narrow by knowing that I am not a perfect person, but I'm aware of that, and I practice to stay on that path.
So you told me what you do. Who are you?
I don't know how to answer that. What exactly, when you ask that, what are you meaning when you say, who am I?
Who are you? You told me your name. You told me how you struggle, what you do.
Yeah.
You told me who you belong to. You say you belong to God. But you didn't tell me who you are.
I'm just me, Jesse. I'm Brandon. I don't know how else to answer that.
And so if you don't know who you are, how do you know you get lonely to a point you think being married, having children is going to make it better? Who are you talking about that get lonely if you don't know who you are?
Somebody that's probably going to...
Who is getting lonely if you don't know who you are? How do you know you get lonely?
I've struggled enough with it, Jesse, where I've come to terms that I love the devil,
Brandon,
and I feel sorry for the devil.
Brandon.
Because he's going to get stomped in
Brandon,
the head with a girl's heel. Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, how do you know you get lonely?
Because I can feel that.
And what does it feel like?
Pitiful, like I'm not worth good enough to have, someone.
And so are you your feelings?
No, I'm not. Well, I mean, maybe I'm whatever God says I am, Jesse.
Are you your feelings?
Am I my feelings? Well, yeah.
You are your feelings?
Yeah. My feelings are a part of me.
How do you know that you don't even know who you are? How do you know the feelings are a part of you?
Because I can interpret and decipher what I'm feeling.
How can you do that?
So,
you don't even know who you are. How do you know you're feeling them?
Well, Jesse, everything that I do, I devote myself toward God, and I do as best as I can.
You don't know who you are. Why do you say you're your feelings?
If I don't know who I am, what? Now say that again.
Why do you say you are your feelings?
You were just asking me. You asked me that question, and the best answer that I knew to come up with was because I can decipher what I feel. My feelings.
So let me ask. Are you your bad feelings and your good feelings?
Oh, I definitely have a good. I have a one side that wants to do bad, but I try to fight the temptation.
And so you're your bad feelings and your good feelings.
Sure.
Amazing. what would happen if you, because of time, what would happen if you drop your anger?
My anger. I think. See, the Bible says says sin but don't, or be angry but don't sin. You know, naturally, it's an emotion we have, but look, anger is not good for you. It's like constant poison.
God said that anyone that has anger is a murderer and not to be trusted. So what will happen if you drop your anger and never have it again?
I would think much more clearly, that's for sure, if I have no anger.
So why don't you drop your anger then?
I do good with that stuff.
Why don't you drop your anger?
I will, you know.
Why don't you?
I do.
Why haven't you done it so you can never be angry, so you can see clearly, like you said? Why not drop the anger since God said don't even trust a person with anger? An angry person cannot know God. An angry person is an evil person. Why don't you drop the anger since God condemned anger?
Right. Yeah. That's a very good point.
That's a question, not a point.
Right. Well, I think I'm probably never going to live life and not feel some sort of anger.
God said you can live that way.
Okay. I don't care. If God says I can, then I can.
So why don't you drop it then?
I do.
No, you don't.
I'm not an angry person.
You do get angry. You get angry, you're an angry person.
Yeah.
Let me ask because of time. Do you want to drop the anger and never be angry again?
Sure.
You want to be free?
Oh, most certainly, yeah.
You got to see
Free
that.
soul, yeah.
You got to see that anger is evil. Any person that has anger is of their father, the devil. And then go forgive your mother for recreating you her image. Forgive your father for not protecting you, and you shall be free.
Okay, so I know that there's not a lot of.
Have you heard me say that you got to forgive your mother if you want to be free?
Yeah.
Why have you done that?
Oh, I have.
You went to her?
Oh, yeah.
You went to your mother?
Yeah.
And what'd you say to her?
Oh, I just, I do it to everyone. Anybody that I've ever had any negativity that I have ever had with anyone, I always go to it and try and clear it up.
Have you gone to your mother and forgiven her?
Most certainly.
What did you say to her?
I just tell her that no one's perfect, and I'm sorry that the situations and things that have happened between me and her, and I forgive her for anything that's ever happened. That she's done.
Brandon, you need to forgive your mother. You have not forgiven her.
Okay.
Your mother was evil for doing what she's done to you.
Yeah.
She couldn't help it because her mother did it.
It's a repetitive thing.
Her mother did it to her. Her mother did it to her, so she did to you what her mother did to her. So she couldn't help it. But you gotta. Well,
it's repetitive. It's repetitive.
You gotta forgive her for what she's done to you if you want to be free. Otherwise, God cannot forgive you, and you're just gonna have an idea about God, but you would never know God, because angry people cannot enter into the kingdom of peace.
I know what you're saying when you talk about, your mother mistreating you, and I know how you are with those things as far as a woman having a son.
So why don't you forgive her?
I have.
You haven't told her that. Saying. You tiptoed around a little. Brandon, go forgive your mother. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you for screwing up my life, recreating me in your image.
I have. I've said those things to her before, Jesse. It's just a repetitive thing, though. Everything's good for a while, and then, it just goes back to the same. She's just the person who she is,
But what that have to do with you, though?
She's my mother.
What that mean? No, she's not your mother. You're a grown man. She's no longer your mother.
She's my mother.
And so you're gonna not change because of that?
No.
So what that have to do with you that she's your mother?
Because God teaches to treat your parents well.
But you're not treating them well. You're not forgiving them.
I forgive them.
You just said she's your mother.
She is my mother.
Why don't you forgive her and move on?
I have forgiven her.
Are you a child? How old are you?
I'm 45.
You have not did you forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother?
My parents separated when I was younger, but no, my dad would always protect me against my mother. So,
have you forgiven your father for not protecting you? Did he leave you with her when he left her, or did you go with him?
No, I went with her, with my mother.
Why didn't you go with him if he protected you? Why didn't you go with him?
Why did I not go with him?
Yes.
I didn't have a choice.
Why not? If he protected you from her, why did he leave you with her?
Oh, I thought you were asking why did I not make the choice to go with him?
No, you couldn't make the call. You were a kid.
Yeah, I was very little. Yeah.
If he was protecting you from her, why did he take you with him when he left her?
Because he wasn't a Christian-based man at the time, that's for sure.
How do you know that?
Because of his lifestyle.
Did he tell you that's why he didn't take you?
No, my dad was a rambling man.
So how did you come up with that idea? Why don't you ask him, why did you take me with you when you left her?
Well, he's gone now.
Gone where?
He's in heaven. Well, he says he was saved. It was actually a couple months before he died. So,
Brandon, I got to run, but I recommend do what you want, of course. Are you doing the silent prayer?
What's that?
Go to rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer and learn to be still so that God can take over your life for you instead of doing all that hooping and hollering praying to the devil.
Okay.
Because you've been praying to the devil and not God.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at that.
All right, let me know how it goes, all right?
All right, yeah, I'll call back in sometime, Jesse. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, buddy. Bob is a first-time caller out of Pennsylvania. Bob, you are on the air, Bob.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Bob.
I got amazing.
Amazing.
I got a couple questions for you, man.
Okay.
I hear you talking a lot. I hear you saying a lot of things. Mainly two questions.
Okay.
So my first question leads off from what you were saying earlier about the blacks and how they can't.
What's wrong with the blacks?
Yeah, they can't get a hold of themselves because they're too busy worrying about the Jews.
The blacks worry about the whites.
Yeah, the whites. That's what it is, the whites. The whites can't get a hold of themselves because they can't control the blacks because they're too busy worried about the Jews. So I want to ask you a couple questions about that.
Yes.
You said that they shouldn't be worried about the Jews at all.
Who?
My question is the whites or anybody.
Right.
Anybody.
Right.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Why? Well, they killed Jesus. Why are you protecting them so bad?
Who killed
why
Jesus?
Are you? The Jews. As far as I'm concerned, so as far as I hear my whole life, the Jews killed Jesus.
But
the
Jesus
Jews
is not
instructed the
dead.
Romans to kill Jesus.
Do you believe Jesus dead?
Besides all that, why are you protecting them so hard? They ran COVID. They killed Kennedy.
Do you
they
believe?
They don't admit
Bob,
that they have weapons
Bob,
of mass
let's do
destruction.
it one at a time, Bob. Let's do it one at a time. Do you believe Jesus is dead?
Yeah, I believe he died on the cross for my sins.
He's not dead. He's alive.
And where is he?
In you.
He's in me?
Yeah.
Is he also in the Jews?
Yes. Yes.
Well, they don't believe that. They believe that he already came back.
You don't believe it either. You don't believe that he is in you either.
Regardless of whether I believe that or not, that has nothing to do with the fact of what the control over the world that they have.
Do you believe that? Bob, one at a time. Don't rush. Slow down. Do you believe that he's in you?
Spiritually, yes.
Do you believe Jesus in you?
In spirit, yes.
And why do you believe that?
I believe that because it's just something I feel.
What? So what now?
I just feel that. It's a belief. You ask me if I believe, I believe.
Well, belief.
It doesn't require a lot of proof.
Belief is not Jesus being in you is not a feeling. You can't feel it.
You asked me if I believe.
Right.
Is that
you
correct?
did.
That,
So
yeah,
knowing
believing
now
doesn't have a lot
that
of
he's
proof.
not in you, do you have a right to be mad at the Jews if he's not in them too, as well?
That's an assumption that I'm mad at the Jews. My mad at the Jews has nothing. I don't have a vote in any of that. I can't be mad at something that's out of my control. But I do see what's going on.
Are you mad
now,
at the Jews?
Now let me ask you a question. Well, how could I be mad at something that's out of my control? No, I'm not mad at them. Let me ask you something.
You say you're not angry at them?
I want to know why. I have no anger towards them, but I see what's going on.
But then why do you make the statement about them killing Jesus then? Why is that important to you?
It's not just Jesus. They bomb hospitals. They kill babies.
Why is that important to you that they killed Jesus in?
Why are you ignoring the fact that there's a
I'm going to let you get to all the other stuff you're trying to say. Why is that important to you that they killed Jesus? Why is that important to you?
I think you misunderstood the question. It's not important to me.
Then why is it even on your mind then?
I've been told that my entire life, and you brought it up.
I brought what up?
You brought up not paying attention to the Jews.
But I didn't bring up they killed Jesus.
Yeah, I've been told that my entire life.
And you believe
Am I
it?
wrong? Are they wrong?
And you believe
Was that
it?
wrong? Was it wrong?
The Jews did not kill Jesus. The Jewish rabbi recommended the military kill Jesus.
I said that in the beginning.
No, you didn't say that.
The Romans. I did say the Jews told the Romans to kill Jesus.
Not
yes,
the Jews didn't tell the Romans to do that. The rabbis who were jealous of Jesus told them that.
What were they? Were they Christians or the Jews?
They were Jewish.
Okay, so thank you. The Jews told the Romans to kill Jesus, as I said.
Not the Jews, the rabbi Jews. You make it sound like all the Jews told the Romans to kill Jesus. It was just
either way. I wasn't around. I wasn't around when that happened, so I'm not angry about that.
It was just the rabbis.
I am angry. Well, I'm not even angry about that.
Can we get that part clear so we can move on? It was just the rabbis, right?
Sure, it was Jewish rabbis.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't understand the fact that you.
Well, the Jews that are around now, were they around when the rabbis back then told the military to kill Jesus? The Jews that are here now, were they here then?
Nobody lives to be 2,025 years old, Jesse. But I do believe that they are the type of people.
Were the Jews today around when the Jews of yesterday told the military, the rabbi Jews told the military to kill Jesus? The Jews today, were they around?
Are you asking if somebody's 2,000 years old?
Were the Jews today around when the Jews of 2,000 years ago recommend the military kill Jesus?
Do you want a one-word answer, or would you like me to explain it? Because
were the Jews today around when the Jews of those
Absolutely.
The Jews of today was around?
Are you going to let me tell you yes? Or are you going to interrupt me and ask me the same question? Yes, they were, because those, and I know, the Jewish people love to preserve their bloodline. Am I wrong about that?
But they're not around, Bob. Bob, they're not around. I don't care what they love to do with the blood. But they're not around,
Bob. They're not 2,000 years old.
They're not around, Bob.
2,000 years old.
Are you white, Bob?
No, Jesse.
What are you?
I'm mixed. Can you?
You mixed with
nobody
what?
Lives to be does anybody live to be 2,000?
You mixed with what?
Italian, Irish, and African.
So were you around when slavery happened?
No, of course not.
But the blacks blame you for slavery.
Nobody does that. Nobody
yes, they
does.
do. They blame the whites.
I've never heard that come out of anybody.
You're lying.
Me.
You have heard that. You're lying.
Nobody said that to me.
They may not say it to you one-on-one, but they blame white people for slavery.
Are you going to let me ask any of the questions?
Is that true or not? Is that true or not?
I don't. I've never heard any of my people.
Do the blacks blame the whites for slavery?
If they do, they're wrong, but maybe.
I'm sorry?
There's lots of them. Who knows?
Did you say if they do, they're wrong?
That's impossible because they know that black
Did you say if they do, they're wrong?
Of course.
Say, are you wrong for blaming the Jews of today for something that Jews did 2,000 years ago?
When did I do that?
Are you wrong for doing that?
If I did, I would be wrong.
You did. You said, "Oh, the Jews killed Jesus."
They did. You said
they
it yourself.
didn't. Jesus is not even dead. First of all.
So the cross thing was a whole hypothetical, or what?
So what now?
So the cross thing was a whole hypothetical.
What do you mean?
He didn't die. With John 3:16.
You even said that the Jews today are responsible for what the Jews did for 2,000 years ago.
No way.
You
no
did
way.
say
I would never
that.
said that.
You did say that.
You're putting words in my mouth because you don't want to answer the question.
Did he say that? Hey, come here.
He said, do you want a one-word answer? He said, do you want a one-word answer about the Jews today being responsible? And he said, with strength and with confidence, you can back it up. He said, yes.
Absolutely, because the bloodline still exists.
So then you're responsible for slavery then. You're absolutely responsible for slavery then.
You can misquote me all you want, but nobody lives to be 2,000 years old. I know I said that.
No, and you said that the Jews are responsible for what happened then.
People that were alive back then are responsible.
Hold on a minute.
For what
Can you
happened
hold?
back then.
Bob, can you hold?
Sure.
All right,
sure.
hold on.
Sure.
All right. I want to go back to Bob out of a first-time call out of PA. Bob, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I wanted to finish on what we were talking about here.
Okay.
About I don't understand why you have so much love for Israel. I want to clear something up that me and my friend were talking about. The Bible, you say, bless Israel. It does not say bless Israel. It says bless Abraham, which was passed on to his descendants. The nation of Israel was developed in the 40s. It has nothing to do with the biblical terms in Abraham, anything like that. Netanyahu is committing a genocide. They're dropping bombs on hospitals. When I have to look at my phone,
how do you know that?
It does make.
How do you know that?
How do I know that?
Yes.
I don't know that I'm talking to you right now. If you're going to play that game, I know that because I trust the report.
How do you know that Netanyahu is a part of the dream team? Donald Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin. How do you know he's committed genocide?
First off, the word Trump and genocide shouldn't even be in the same paragraph.
How do you know
and
Netanyahu is committed genocide?
Because when the finger is pointed to them and they have the answer for dropping a bomb on a hospital, they say it was an accident.
Bob, how do you know? Bob, how do you know that Netanyahu is committed genocide?
When you claim it was an accident, you take ownership.
Bob,
that's how I know.
You're not telling me
ownership.
how you know Netanyahu is committing genocide. You're not telling me how you know that. Where's your proof?
He's in charge of.
Where's your
took
proof?
Ownership.
Where's your proof?
He took ownership. He took ownership.
Bob,
what are you talking about? Out of his mouth. The words out of his mouth.
And so Netanyahu said, "I'm committing genocide."
I heard him take ownership for things that are defined as genocide.
Did he say he committed genocide?
He said he accidentally dropped a bomb on a hospital.
Did he say he committed genocide?
That's what it is. What are you talking about?
Did he say he committed genocide?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Did he say he committed genocide?
Jesse, he didn't use those words.
Then how do you know he's committed genocide?
Because I have a dictionary, and it's the same throughout all of America.
You don't have any proof that Netanyahu is committing genocide. You're saying things with You're saying things with no proof, Bob.
Why are you? What's your support for killing babies like
Bob,
this, Jesse? Why are you supporting Israel?
Things with no
you
proof.
Can't answer a question. I answered a lot of your questions. I've been on with you for 23 minutes, and you can't answer one question.
Haven't given me any proof.
The original question is, why do you support Israel in such a way?
Bob, how am I supporting
Israel in such a way?
How am I supporting Israel?
Why do you support? Why do you support Israel in such a way?
Hold on 1 minute. So Bob
denying genocide?
Bob, hold
when
on.
The whole world's
Bob,
looking?
hold on.
The whole world's looking.
Hold on, Bob.
The whole world's watching.
I'm going to let you go if you talk over me.
I already know that.
Well, then hold on then. I won't have to let you go. So I want y'all to know Bob said he's committed genocide, referring to Netanyahu. Netanyahu never said he would commit genocide. Bob has no proof that he committed genocide. He's just throwing it out there. And if you listen to that and believe it because Bob said it, you'll go say the same thing. So what's your other question, Bob?
You must be crazy. How come the UN says he's committing genocide? I didn't say that. That's not my... I didn't say that. I'm not making these accusations.
You said Netanyahu committed genocide with no proof.
That's not my accusation. It is proof. There's proof out there. You denying it. And my question is, why are you denying it?
Bob,
my only question is...
I'll let Bob go. I asked you your proof, Bob. I'm letting Bob go now. And he gave me no proof. What the... 888-7753. See how people just say things and no proof. And then somebody else here and they'll run with it. And then they'll tell it like they have proof. Like, what the? I want to go to heard around the world. Dubai. LUAY. I want to go to Dubai to talk to LUAY. Louis. LUAY out of Dubai. LUAY, you are on the air.
Heard around the world.
By everybody and their mama.
Hey, Jesse, how are you doing?
All is well, LUAY.
So
what time is it in Dubai right now?
It's 6 p.m.
6 p.m.?
Yeah, it's 6.
How was your day?
It was good.
Nice.
I had, since yesterday, my days have been, these 2 days have been a bit weird. I have, for the past couple of months, I've been a listener to you since like maybe 4 or 5 years or so now. And I've switched jobs in the past 4 months to a job that has a lot of uncertainty. It's a sales job, and if I don't make sales, I don't earn money, basically.
Right on.
And I used to, listen to you talking about living in uncertainty, and it did make sense, but I never really felt it. And I used to do the silent prayers when we last spoke, I think maybe 4 months ago or so. And I was starting to get better. And then once I started this job, I kind of drowned in all these new responsibilities and the new skills and the whole thing. And so I stopped doing the silent prayer, and I started to overthink. I started to kind of doubt myself. And the job has a lot of uncertainty with it. So I started to get scared as well. And then up until, I think, a week ago or so, I, started to come back to myself. Started to do the silent prayers a bit more frequently. Started listening to your show as well. And I noticed that I saw on your show that you were mentioning that you have to be able to live with the fear. I used to try to avoid myself from living in the fear by distracting myself, either talking to my brother about it or this person, or trying to discuss it with someone, like as if anyone will help me. But I also saw that you said that you have to kind of recognize that no one actually can help you. And for some reason, 2 days ago, for the first time, I faced the fear I had in my stomach while I was going to work. The fear of, I had a fear of that, I'm going to be a failure. I'm not going to make it. I always had doubts of this sort. And the fear was big, and it was growing bigger. And so I faced it in the car, and it's a strange thing that happened. I started feel since yesterday that I got convinced that no one's going to help me, and it was the first time I didn't tell anyone about it, or I didn't try to distract myself from it, not listening to a radio show on the car or music or whatever, or distraction of any kind. And then I felt like my thoughts I started to recognize that my thoughts are not my own, and that I got convinced that no one is really going to help me. Everything I was doing to try to avoid this fear was pointless, because it was always coming back. And so I started to lose I felt like my thoughts are getting less, and I'm starting to become aware that, there's, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. These 2 days, life became slower, and I felt like I'm more present. And I kind of wanted to call to see, what you think about it, and because it feels weird to me. It's a new thing, and my mind is becoming even trickier with the thoughts. Like, I'm starting to doubt that I'm actually going through the process, or doubt that I'm waking up, and my mind, is playing all kinds of tricks on me. And I've heard you also say that it will get worse before it gets better. And I'm not sure to which level you think it gets worse. I did not get really, when I faced the fear, it was a bit terrifying, but it was fine. And then after it, I felt better. And today, I did that yesterday. Today, I also walked to work and was going to work while feeling present almost all throughout the way. And then when I am at work, okay, I get busy, and I don't really get to be present a lot. But whenever I'm not really that busy, then I remember to kind of be aware of the present. I'm just calling to see basically if this sounds to you like something that is this the thing? Is this like waking up? Is that how it should feel? Is that should I expect anything? Or
That is perfect. When you make up your mind, I am tired of living and being the way I am, and then you just let go. You surrender all unto the light, meaning that when those thoughts come and those feelings come, whether it's so-called good feelings or bad feelings, anger or good or whatever, just be aware of it, LUAY. Just be aware and do nothing about it. Do nothing about it. Go to work, do your job, go to your meals, and just being aware of what's happening inside of you, and don't call it you. You're going through the hell, and on the other side of the hell is paradise. And those thoughts are going to have a fit. They're going to say, it ain't working, LUAY. You got to stop this. You got to do this. You got to do that. They are screaming, and it's going to feel like it's you, and it's going to sound like it's you, but it's not you. You relax in it and let the light handle the darkness. You'll be fine. And do nothing about it but live with it, sleep with it, walk with it, stay with it. Just don't communicate with it. Just be aware.
Yeah, I get that. And I did notice myself, like I started to doubt, really like almost every thought. And it's also something new to me that, I'm finding that I'm noticing the thoughts much more than before. And I'm noticing, this is a thought, I did not.
Yes.
This is not me that thought this way. It's a thought that came to me.
Right on.
And then I doubted after I noticed.
Right on. That's all you need to do for the rest of the time. Just be aware of that. And again, it's going to be painful. It's going to be hell. But that's what it is anyway. It's hell on earth inside of you. But just stay with it. Stay with it. Don't try to get rid of it. Christ said, Bring all of your troubles unto me, and I'll take care of it. All of your fears, all of your loneliness, all of your stress, all of your jealousy, envy, and strife, and revenge, all of your desire to hurt yourself and others. Bring all that to the light. And that means just be aware of what's going on in you, and you will die daily, and you will be fine.
So, and so you think that it has to even get worse, like because I don't see it yet. Is it something that always happens, that it gets to a point where it gets worse, or should I not expect anything?
Have no expectation. Have a wait and see.
Yeah.
One of the primary reasons that it get difficult work for most people is because all of your life you have believed that you were those things. You thought you were those fears. You thought you were the jealousy. You thought you were the doubt. You thought you were these things. And so it's like you got to now know that it's not you, and you're dying from all these false identities that you have. And that's what people don't want to give up. Who will I be if I'm not what I think I am? Who will I be if I'm not this or that? And it's hard for people to die from that because they feel like if I don't have some type of thrill, some type of feelings, then I'm no one. And so it's hard for them to let go. But you stay with it and just watch it and do nothing about it. Go to work shaking in your boots. And if it's telling you that you're not going to be able to make a sale today, just have a wait and see, and you'll be fine.
And I noticed 3 days ago, I was because recently what I got to this point is that I started drinking a bit more because I was so afraid and I'd had so much doubts in myself. And so 3 days ago, I noticed in the car, I got extremely sad and started to look at like old pictures of my parents getting old, and I started to have these really sad emotions. And then I noticed for the first time that I noticed that I'm comfortable in the sadness. I felt like I somehow loved the sadness.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I noticed it. And it made sense to me. I remembered you saying that people love their emotions or love their sadness. And it was because I'm used to it, my whole life. It's just the first time maybe I noticed it, that I was comfortable in the sadness.
Beautiful. And you, by noticing it and not calling you, that's the spirit of the truth that is saving you from the false self. Most human beings, they are comfortable in their sadness. They are comfortable in their fears. They are comfortable in their anxiety. They are comfortable in their false happiness, fake happiness, false happiness, and false sadness. And they don't want to let that go. Who will I be, they say, if I don't have those things? They think that that's who they are, and they do not want to let it go. But just be aware and do nothing about it as you're doing, and just stay with it. And don't worry about how long it's going to take or how difficult it is. You stay with it, and the light is working on your behalf.
Yeah, I will do that. And I also noticed one more thing is that I always thought of myself, maybe that was part of the ego, is that I don't have an ego because I always acted or always thought that I don't think highly of myself. But at the same time, I always doubted myself and thought negative things about myself. So maybe that was kind of the ego or false identity I had built up for myself.
100.
Because it was negative, I never thought of it as an ego.
It was ego.
But
when you don't think highly of yourself, that's ego. When you think highly of yourself, that's ego. It's all ego. When you think negatively of yourself, it's all ego, because there is no self to think either way about. So it's just all ego. And a lot of people most people get a thrill out of thinking negatively of themselves. That's a thrill. That's an ego, and they love it. And they love telling people, oh, I feel so bad about myself. I don't think highly of myself. And it's just an ego. And they love it, and you can tell them to let that go because it's like letting self go.
Yeah, because for example, for me, I got used to it, and maybe that's
Yes.
the only thing I know at this point. So maybe I get attached to it, and people get attached to what they used to feeling all this time.
Absolutely. They become one with evil, and evil is like it's like glued to them, and evil doesn't want to let go, and so they just say, "Oh, this is how I feel. I feel afraid. I feel negative. I'm not as good as the next person. I'm not this and I'm not that." But they love that. That's why they do it.
And I even noticed like people at work are maybe see me a bit differently or something, because when they ask me, they see me quiet or something, and they ask me what's wrong. Usually, I have something to say, but I just because I discovered or I realized finally that no one can help me. I would answer them like I'm good.
Right on. All is well.
All is well, exactly. So
Yeah.
they felt like it's not me or something is wrong with me, but for me it felt for the first time
Yeah.
that I just there's no point.
Well, LUAY,
I shouldn't be saying anything.
you're on your way. You're doing fine. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. And now that you understand, I got to live with this, but just be aware of it and don't call it me. Don't say, I am this and I am that. Don't identify with it. And it's going to have a fit, but it's not you. And it'll be taken away. You'll be fine. You're surrendering 100% to the light. And that's the only way you can be rewarded is when you completely surrender to the light. Otherwise, the truth cannot give you the prize if you don't do what it tells you to do. So you'll be fine. Stay with it, all right?
All right, just do the silent prayer every day or every night, I think, and just be aware. And just one last question, if possible. When you're doing the silent prayer, do you have a specific purpose, or are you just trying to be present, or trying to watch yourself, or to know yourself? What's your main purpose?
Have no purpose. Just be aware, watching those thoughts and emotions, which are not your own. Just be aware. Don't have any purpose. Don't have any ideas. Don't have any thoughts, because we don't know what we want. We don't know what we need. None of that thing, and none of those things. But if you do it with a purpose, then you think you know what you want. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm. So just watch yourself.
That's all you do. Watch the not you. You're watching the not you, and you're not your thoughts and emotions.
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome, LUAY. Good to hear from you, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right. Stay with it.
All the best to you.
All right.
I will.
Thank you. Amazing. It's the same spirit all around the world, different languages, even in Dubai. Isn't there some Satans over in Dubai messing with LUAY? You tell everybody the same thing. I counsel with men and women around the world. And the problem are the same, because the devil's telling everybody the same thing. And they react in the same way. They believe a lie. Stop it. I want to show you, it's Manhood Hour, and I want to show you this female. And I think this female expired recently. I may have seen her in the news at some point or another, but I don't quite remember seeing her. But she expired. I said punching today at 2 days. Thank you. This female expired, and apparently she wanted to keep this secret until she expired. What the? I wonder where she is now. And some of you may have heard of her, but apparently she was not about love. What love got to do with it? From X, so-called Dr. James Goodall filmed an interview in March of 2025 with the understanding it wouldn't be released it wouldn't be released. Oh, I'm reading it bad. So-called Dr. James Goodall filmed an interview on March in March of 2025, with the understanding it will only be released after her death. When you see this, you will see why. This is her final message from it. And she wanted them, according to this report, I'm going to tell y'all the truth, but don't tell nobody until I die. And now she did. Jane Goodall. Watch this from X.
Do you have people that you don't like?
Absolutely, there are people I don't like. And I would like to put them on one of Musk's spaceships and send them all off to the planet he's sure he's going to discover.
Would he be one of them?
Oh, absolutely. He'd be the host. And you can imagine who I'd put on that spaceship.
Who?
Along with Musk would be Trump and some of Trump's real supporters. And then I would put Putin in there. And I would put President Xi. I'd certainly put Netanyahu in there and his far-right government. Put them all on that spaceship and send them off.
What an evil heifer. What the? She did. And there's something. She, according to the report, she said, all right, I'm going to tell y'all this, but don't mention it until I die. No wonder she running around kissing monkeys. She had no love. And here's a portion of James' last message as well from X.
In the place where I am now, I look back over my life. I look back at the world I've left behind. What message do I want to leave? I want to make sure that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters, and you are here for a reason. I want you to understand that we are part of the natural world, and even today, where the planet is dark, there still is hope. Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and do nothing.
What an evil lost helper. What a mess. She's like, don't play this according to the report. Don't play this until after I die. She did. I see why she wanted to keep it. May her soul rest in peace. A lost helper. What a mess. So, was she thinking of losing the hope? What the? Hate said, what do you say, Hate? I wasn't thinking of losing hope?
Yeah, I said that's a depressing message.
Sure is.
It's such a downer. The whole spirit is like down.
She had no peace.
I wasn't thinking of losing hope until she started talking about it.
And she want to put the dream team on outer space. How are you going to hate the dream team? Donald Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin, and Elon.
And President Xi.
She hate all the men.
All the alphas. No alphas allowed in her world.
Where is she now?
In heaven.
What a mess. May your soul rest in peace, Jane. What a lost soul. No wonder she lived in the woods with the monkeys. I guess she lived in the woods. The apes. Mm-hmm. Wherever she was kissing her. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to tell y'all the truth, but just hold it after I die. Let me go to WOODROW, a first-time caller out of Florida. I'll come back to L.A. when they get that straightened out. Is it WOODROW?
Yes, sir.
WOODROW. I had an uncle named WOODROW. He dead now. He dead. Oh, cousin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yes, my name's WOODROW in Pensacola, and first-time caller, long-time listener. I really do enjoy your program. Have a lot of history with you, and identify with where you grew up. And I too am from Pensacola. I am 70, but back in the early 70s, I went to college at Alabama State.
Amazing.
And I was the first white dude. I was the first white dude to go there. And,
yeah, a lot of nerve. Well, but back then, though, the blacks were not as angry and vicious as they are today, though.
No, sir. No, sir.
Right.
It was, I believe, my folks didn't have much. And at first I didn't want to go. And when I went, at the first week, I was ready to come home. And I was talking to my mom about it. She said, well, what's wrong? I said, well, it's different. And she said, what do you mean it's different? And I said, well, it's not different as black as white. And she said, okay, you can come home. And when you do, you can get your job and you can pay half the rent and the garbage and the electricity.
That's how they did it in the good old days. Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't put up with that. And I said, I think I'll stick it out. and I wound up, I was on a football scholarship and I got my degree and I'm a retired teacher now. But
that's an all-black college, right?
Yes, sir. Alabama State in Montgomery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All the teams we played were in the SIAC, Grambling,
right on.
Tuskegee, all those things. But my question for you, and I know it's not on the subject of what you're talking about, but I got married real young, and then I fell out of grace and divorced my wife, and then I married the bee from hell, and I started raising Cain and drinking, and I had a son, and first thing led to another. She divorced me, and then she pushed me away from me seeing my son.
Yeah.
And so,
all evil mothers do that. Women are very evil, and they will make you suffer by making your children suffer. They'll make you suffer so that they can get a thrill.
Well, to cut to the chase, for years and years, he didn't want to have anything to do with me because his mama was angry and he was turned against me.
Yes.
And I told him, I said, I didn't divorce you. I divorced your mom. I said,
Absolutely.
But he didn't want to have nothing. He didn't want to have anything to do with me.
Woodrow, hold on. Let me take a quick break. Do not hang up. Let me go back to Woodrow, a first-time caller out of Florida. So Woodrow, you made this son, your ex-wife turned him against you, and your question for me is what? Go ahead.
Well, my question, just to give you the background, you're so right about how the woman is so evil because when things started going south, she did all the things you had mentioned to other people and warned against about taking your money out of the bank account and leaving you at zero. And I was so angry. And and then when we got divorced, I was down in South Florida at the time teaching down there in Boca Raton. And I came back to Pensacola because I decided I'm not going to fight this anymore. I'm going to leave it alone.
Yes.
And so, she kept bringing me back to courts. And so I would try to see my son when he was a little bit older. And when I did, he didn't want to have anything to do with me. Matter of fact, he said, leave me the hell alone. And excuse my language. And I told him, I said, you know what? It's not what you think it is. I said, I'll always be your dad and always love you, but I am going to leave you the hell alone.
Right on.
And I did for years. And then when COVID hit, he's probably around 30-something years old. And I had a friend that was a lifeguard down there that I had worked out with, and he befriended my son, not knowing that he knew me. And so he knew my son. He called me. He said, I think your son wants to get back with you. And I said, okay, good. And so we called and we started talking, and we I told him that I apologized to him for not protecting him against his mom. And I said, you did nothing wrong. You were brainwashed. You didn't know any better. And So let's start from there. And we did. And for the past 5 years, I've gone up there several times. He had gotten married to this woman and then moved to Washington, D.C. from South Florida. He's an executive chef and very good at it, and had a child, and we wanted to go see the child, and we did. And his wife, Jesse, was just like my ex.
Yep, he married his mama.
Absolutely. And now his wife has turned us against him.
Yep.
And so my son is, I think he has some vice problems. You know, we're drinking and smoking. You know, being in the restaurant industry, that's usually where you wind up. But now my son has turned against me again.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess my question is, he rants on the text messages, and I would not respond to all the rants of anger, and I feel like it's not going to do any good to try to defend myself about this. But I guess my question is, should I just let it go?
100%. Don't be angry at him. He's asleep. He's blind and cannot see. And
yes.
Every man marry his mother, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. So just wish him well. Wish him well in your heart, but be done with him. Don't argue with him. Don't respond to any of that, and just be done with it and move on with your life. But don't be angry at him. He cannot see.
I'm not. Yes, sir. And I did tell him at one time. I said to him, I said, son, you know, this anger that you have, it did not come from you.
Right.
You got that from your mama, and you need to go back. If you want to be free from anger, you need to go back and apologize to her for resenting her, because I know you hate her. He says, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. I said, as long as you do that, you're going to stay in it. And I said, I'm sorry for that. And I said, I tried to protect you, but when she divorced me, I couldn't do it. And I said, I'm sorry for that. So I did make my amends to him.
And so be done with it. Woodrow, be done with it. Don't just go on with your life. You continue to work on yourself, and let God's will be done for you and your son. If it's meant for him to come back, the Spirit of truth will bring him back. If not, you'll be fine either way.
Well, since that time, I have married a beautiful, godly woman. She loves God, and we do our silent prayer at night, and I do mine in the morning. She does her own prayers in the morning. But and she's a beautiful woman, very smart, fixing to get her PhD with all the people that's in the university, and she doesn't think much about it. She wants to get her own business when she's done with the educational process. But I'm very grateful today. But it's like you. I felt sad, but it's not an emotional sad. But I do have to let it go.
You got to let it go, man. Every father has to do that if they want to be free, because every man married the wrong woman, and every woman married the wrong man, because she married her daddy, who she hates, and he married his mama, whom he hates. And every woman that get married their mama as well, because the man that she's marrying is just like her mother. He's emotional. He's angry. He gossips.
Absolutely.
He's fearful. He's married. She is married her mother. So the whole cycle repeats itself. That's why there's a law that is never going to change for you. And that law is you must love what's right. Seek what's right with all your heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else or nobody else. And then what you need in life will be added unto you, and it will be perfect.
Amen. Thank you.
So
go ahead.
Just be done with that. Move on. Don't try to contact him. Don't argue with him. Don't try to prove anything. Let him suffer in his misery. There's nothing you can do about it. He's an adult now, and he got to live in his own misery until he's ready to overcome it.
Well, Jesse, thank you for your time. And if you ever come to Florida, to Pensacola, I'm an avid inshore fisherman, and I have a fishing podcast here in town, and I fish from here to the Everglades, and I'd love to take you fishing.
I will remember that, Woodrow. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Take care now.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. Men, every woman that you marry is the wrong one because you're picking her and you're picking a woman out of hell. Ladies, every man you marry is wrong because you're picking a man out of hell. And you suffer. And you suffer because you're wrong. You're picking a man because you are wrong. You're picking a woman because you are wrong. 888-7753-773. Remember I said that if you are hurting, it's because you are wrong. If you're hurting, you are wrong. And God is love. And he never has and never will give you pain. Any kind of pain, for any reason at all. God does not give pain. He does not give loneliness, depression, suicidal thoughts, worry, looking for love. He doesn't do any of those things. God, he does not give you, make you an alcoholic or a drug addict or anything, drag queen or anything. You are wrong if you're suffering. And I don't care if you're a preacher, a non-preacher, or so-called expert or Bible thumper or whatever. If you're suffering, you are wrong. And there's no need to suffer. And you could be free right now and never suffer again. Not from this point forward, and never suffer again. I promise you that if you want it. Eternal life is for all who want it. This is from is it Isaiah? The Isaiah Factor / Fox 26. I haven't seen this yet. My producer told me about it this morning, so I'm seeing it for the first time as you all are seeing it. A former Houston pastor sit down with Isaiah to talk about his mental health struggles, organized religion, and how to cope with past trauma. This is from Isaiah Factor / Fox 26. Watch this.
Every message that I preached during the time I started pastoring, I didn't believe any of it.
Jonathan was experiencing depression while also suffering from a spiritual crisis as a pastor. Besides the death of his parents from dementia and aging, he says he could not find a good job. And to top it all, his wife of many years, the mother of his children, was leaving him.
It was ending after 30 years. I stayed in that house for several weeks by myself. In fact, you know, I was weighing about 182 pounds then. It got so bad I got down to 150.
Jonathan says he was struggling to survive financially while his life was also falling apart. He said on Sundays he was preaching a positive message, all while being consumed in darkness.
Sound like the Pharisees during Christ's days, huh? They were dressing up on the outside, but inwardly the glass was dirty. What the? In the midst of the former pastor's depression, he tried to call a woman he respected for help. Watch this.
I purchased a gun, actually a .380. I walked out of that store with it, and the whole time I was in that truck, I was contemplating, I need somebody to talk me out of this. The only person that I knew when I was sitting in that truck was a woman that I had a lot of respect for. And when I got there to her home, nobody was there. If I just had a moment to talk to her, you know, she could have helped me change my mind about what I was thinking about doing. Right. I made it to my house eventually. When I went inside my house, I remember running my tub full of water. To this day, I can't understand why. I started drinking. I started popping all of the over-the-counter drugs that I had, after which I made a phone call to a male friend of mine. I have no idea what I said. I got the 380, I started shooting up the house. And as I was shooting up the house, I was screaming at the top of my voice, I helped everybody you wanted me to help. I've helped other pastors build their churches, but yet my life has to come to this point, and you can't do nothing for me?
What the? I did all that to help other people. He helped no one. What the? You and I cannot help ourselves. How can we help anyone else? The former pastor tried to set the house on fire and was arrested for shooting at peace officers. What the? Why is this?
And then I remember I went in my garage, I grabbed a gas can, and I poured it all over my house, from bedroom to bedroom. I lit the gas, the house went up in flames. I fell to the floor, I sat up against the wall, put the gun to my head, and while the gun was to my head, I was choking. I had taken in so much soot and smoke into my mouth, and I pulled the trigger.
Paramedics saved him, but Jonathan says police officers were charging him. Remember that wild shooting spree in his home he told you about? Well, that came with consequences.
He said, well, we're gonna have to arrest you.
It's in the Word. I told you the Bible can't save you. The Bible can't save you. You can read the Bible until the cows come home, and you're still going to be miserable. You're going to be angry. You're going to be revengeful. You have no love. You're not loving your neighbor as yourself. You don't even love yourself. The pastor blamed the church for his anger, and after being released, claimed he found peace. Watch this.
Jonathan, after being sentenced to probation on his first ever offense, he was forever changed after that attempt on his life. The longtime pastor found himself angry at the very institution he had become a part of. In fact, he considers the church a culprit in his mental demise, a cancer, if you will, on society in general.
What happened in the church that made you lose faith?
Harmful theology. Every harmful theology and gaslighting. Every Sunday I went to church, even before I pastored. I always used to hear pastors just criticize members, using the word of God, criticizing. I was smart enough to know what that looked like and what it sounded like. What they're saying is not about Jesus Christ. It's about their relationship with you. But somehow they mingled it to make it seem as if though it's about your relationship with God. But they never taught it that way.
Jonathan never looked back, and he never returned to the church.
I could never go back to religion. Understanding what it is, I can never go back to it. I can never go back to it.
Instead, he says he found his peace in farming the land around his home. And most importantly, the music, that saxophone that he loves so much.
Amazing. Oh, amazing. What do you think about that, Anchor Babe? Have you seen that before?
No, I hadn't.
What do you think about that?
The guy, it's so interesting. I mean, he ended up, he at the end there.
Come here, Hank.
He's like, it sounded like he was saying something like he's smarter now. He's smartened up. I'm too smart. I know what that looks like, but he was like deceived in it. in his mind. I don't know how he squares that. But I mean, essentially, my take is he ended up staying angry. He ended up staying mad, and he calls it like peace, and he's smarter now and all that. But he just went off to be the same guy.
What do you think? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
This is Hake, one of the experts as well. Anchor Baby, an expert here on the show. What did you think about that?
I found it interesting that
very interesting.
That he sort of fell into the world. He was in the world and of the world in the church. And then he became back into the world and of the world with this mental health stuff. Because that's lost. Like, he's still lost. He's just taking comfort in farming, which is a comforting thing sometimes. Work, it's good for you. And then music, which is just, that's not real peace.
That's for sure.
But it's a nice pastime. But I also thought about the fact that he said he'll never go back into religion again. He knows what it's about.
Well, the one thing about that is that God has nothing to do with religion.
Yeah,
God
that's what I was
is
thinking
not
about.
in religion at all.
Yeah, these ideas about this religion stuff.
Yeah.
He was just faking it the whole time, and he knew it.
Yeah, amazing. God is not in religion.
I liked his Black King T-shirt, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that.
He had a chess piece king that was here, and it said Black King. He thinks he's a king, maybe.
And also, he's not going to find peace in flying the land either.
Right.
It ain't in the land. It ain't in the Bible. It ain't in religion. It's inside of him. That's amazing how that he was preaching the word that had no peace.
Yep.
And I mean, this guy was like, according to him, at suicidal point.
And homicidal suicide, because he was shooting up the place. That could have hit somebody. He's lucky it didn't.
What a mess! And he called a woman for help. What the?
I didn't catch that part.
He said that. What did he say? There was a woman that he wanted.
I was
the woman he respected.
Yeah.
It was the day he was buying that firearm. Looks like he went to her house, but she wasn't there. So he never even got the advice from her, but he was saying that he went out to seek her help.
Right. And we're hoping that she can talk him out of it.
He says that if he had talked to her, he wouldn't have gone to do what he did.
Right. What a mess.
So he may think.
Right. When you're wrong, when you're hurting, you are wrong. It's in you. And it's not from God. It has nothing to do with God. God does not give you pain, period. Some people say, well, God caused me to suffer because God was trying to teach me a lesson. That's a lie. God doesn't ever try to teach you anything. Not through pain, that's for sure. Somebody need to tell that pastor he got to drop his anger, and stop listening to thoughts. All thoughts, all lies, all the time. And he can play the saxophone until the cows come home. My son used to play saxophone.
I used to play it too.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I was taught saxophone in 7th grade. So 7th and 8th grade, I played saxophone.
You didn't like it?
I did. I really enjoyed it.
Why did you stop there?
Because it was just for band.
Oh, so your life stopped when band stopped?
Well, saxophone is not life, Jesse. Nice. It wasn't even my own saxophone. It was from the school or the band teacher or whatever. Nice.
Amazing. You don't have to be emotionally miserable, folks. God is a dispassionate God. He is not an emotional God. When you're emotional, you're of your father, evil. You're of your father, the devil, whether it's feel-good emotion or anger. They're both the same. Let me go to Brian. He's been waiting a while out of Michigan. Brian, you are on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, Brian.
How are you today?
All is well.
Nice. I just wanted to touch base with you again. I've talked to you a couple, 3 times, and one of the last times that I spoke with you, it was about my mother. The first time that I spoke with you, I talked about my mother and that I moved her into my house, and you told me, "Oh no, you moved another devil into your house." And I didn't really understand at that time what you were talking about, but it wasn't soon after that I started understanding.
And what caused you to understand?
Well, the light of God. That's all I can say.
Did she go crazy or something? What happened?
No, she didn't go crazy. Just, I guess her little quirks, just her in her own mind. And
yeah,
I don't think she was, she told us that, she told my wife and myself that she was happy here, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of things that she was doing. And I work all day, so it was really my wife helping her with things that she really didn't need help with. I guess in a way you could say we did kind of treat her like a child because she does have a disability, but she's not. She identifies as a cripple, but she's not. She can walk, but she uses that as she identifies with it, so she believes it. And she didn't want to use the restroom. She wanted to be able to just take care of her business in her room and someone else then take care of that.
Whoa.
And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it was really causing a problem. And you always say have a wait and see attitude.
Yeah.
And I waited for like 2 years. And finally last weekend, I didn't even think about it. My wife had taken her to the store with her. And when she got to the store, my wife called me complaining about things that were going on. And the wife came back because the mom forgot her debit card. And I just got up and walked out into the driveway, and I told Mom, hey, I didn't come right out and say, hey, Mom, you got to go. You're causing problems. I just said, Mom, I really think that you need more help than what we can give you, and I think we need to make other arrangements. And the first thing out of her mouth was, well, I'm just going to call the grandson, which is my son. I'm just going to go stay there. And I thought, you popped right into my head, because I thought, yep, she's just going to go impose her will on somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just said to her, Mom, I really think you need 24-hour care. I said, I think you should just go somewhere where somebody else can help you. And no. And she did. She came right in the house and called my son, and I knew that he would, oh, yeah, you can come on over here.
Wow.
And I think in his mind, he thinks that she's got money. Because I had my mom's husband passed away. They lived out in the country. They had 5 acres of property. I knew she couldn't take care of it. I didn't want to take care of it. And so I told her, Ma, I really think you should just sell the house. And at that time, I was going to have her just go to a home where she could have someone else look after her, not necessarily an old folks home, but somewhere where she could just have some extra help.
Right.
And at first she was all for it, and then she was against it. And I said, well, then maybe you need to come here, Mom. And that was before I started listening to you. And yeah, that was a mistake. And I moved her in, and it didn't cause problems really between my wife and I, but I could see it coming because my wife she was getting angry. She was getting agitated.
Yeah.
And she was calling me at work, putting that onto me.
Yeah.
Not that I can't handle it, but I didn't want to listen to it. And I thought, I got to do something here. And I waited longer, but then last weekend it came to a head, and yep, she finally moved out, and now she's trying other tactics of she put the cable bill in her name, and of course, a day after she moved out, she must have called them and, oh yeah, get this out of my name, turn it off. And we already knew that was going to happen, so we already had other arrangements, and sure enough, it got turned off. And so then the wife kind of retaliated in a way and said, well, because we put her on our cell phone plan. And so then yesterday the wife was like, well, I'm just going to call and cancel her phone off from our bill. That'll save us money.
Yeah.
And I said, well, hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I said, you also got to remember, we're still carrying the little baby who's actually an adult, our 26-year-old son. We were still paying his cell phone bill. And I told her, I said, well, if you're going to cut her out, we need to cut him out too, because all these people are an adult and they need to start taking care of themselves.
That's right.
Said we're in our time where we need to enjoy ourselves and we need to have our peace. So it's all over and done, and I don't know if I can say it feels like a big weight lifted off my shoulders, but it sure is a lot calmer around the house.
Right on. Why did you have your son on your cell phone at that age?
The wife just kept him on there, and I told her.
But why did you let her do that?
A beta.
Oh, yeah. Beta!
Yeah, a beta. we just told him yesterday, he come in the house after work to visit with us for a minute, and he was all happy. And his mother came out and said, oh, hey, I want to let you know that you're going to have to start looking for your own cell phone plan because we're going to cancel you. And boy, did his attitude change quick.
Yep. Nobody love nobody. It's all use. They just want to use you. You use them. And it's not about love at all. And that's a good example of it.
You are exactly right. So other callers that called up too today really, kind of played into what I'm talking with you about. And, yeah, it's just crazy.
Where did your mother go?
She went to my son's.
Oh, so he did take her in.
Yeah.
He's going to live to regret that.
I told him in the driveway when he came to pick her up, we haven't really talked. He got mad at me because I wouldn't co-sign a loan for him. He wanted to buy, when Mom was selling her house, he wanted to buy it. And he ended up calling me up, telling me that he couldn't get a loan through the bank right now because he had just started a new job, and I just need you to co-sign for me, Dad. And I told him, I said, I can't do that.
That's right. Never co-sign for someone. What the?
He said, and I had found you by this time. And he said, well, why? You don't have to worry about it. I can make the payment. And I told him, I said, son, you can't predict the future, nor can I.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And if I sign on that line and you can't make that payment, now I'm stuck. Absolutely. And I don't want it.
Yeah.
I said, it's not my responsibility. I said, if you can't do it on your own, then it wasn't meant to be. And I said, even if you can do it on your own, it still might not have meant to be.
Right.
And yeah, it's crazy. I can't, well, like I was going to say, he came over last Sunday to pick her up. And him and I stood in the driveway and we talked for the first time in probably 8 or 9 months. And he's like, he was asking me what's going on to him. I said, I just can't deal with it no more. It's too much. And I said, I told her she needs to go somewhere where she can get some extra care. Oh, Dad, I can't let her go to a home. And I said, why not? Well, because that's Grandma. And I said, so what? That's my mom.
Yeah.
I said, you're not responsible for her. And I told him I didn't realize it at the time. I wasn't responsible for her.
That's right.
I said, you know who was responsible for her? Her husband that passed away.
Yeah.
It was up to him to make the way, to make sure, because usually the man dies first. Doesn't always have, not all, but most. the man dies first.
Yeah.
And it's up to the man to make preparation for if that happens.
And the man died first because the wife killed the man with all her stress and worry and evil stuff.
But I think maybe now I've been telling the wife, I said, look, you keep thinking that there's good people, and I keep telling you, no one's good.
Yeah.
I said, everyone's evil.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not. I said, as soon as you say something that somebody doesn't like, you watch the hell come out of them.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I told her, I said, just like you say, I said, you know who your worst enemy is? Myself. I said, no, your family.
Yep.
I said, yeah, your worst enemy can be you because you're thinking in your head.
You notice how the son got mad as soon as you told him you're going to take him off the cell phone thing? He got angry. He didn't love you guys. If he had love, he wouldn't have got angry because he would have understood, you're right, I'm a grown man. I can take care of myself.
See, my son, her grandson that my mom moved in with, I think he thinks that she still has money because when she sold the house, she had money, and she moved in here. And good grief, I thought my house was an Amazon distribution center. She was constantly ordering off from Amazon. She's 77 years old, and you thought that woman had a full-time job and worked 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day.
So she can order from Amazon, but she can't get up and go to the bathroom?
Yep.
What a mess.
It was a mess.
Yeah. You know, parents make children feel that somehow or another they owe them something. So, especially mothers, let me move in with you. It's not your fault that the parents didn't take care of their lives while they were younger and set themselves up so if they did go wrong, they'll be able to take care of themselves in another way without imposing themselves on their children.
That's right.
And the mothers got that bad.
When I was 25 years old, I bought my first home.
Yeah, me too.
And it was a 25-year loan.
Yeah.
So right then, I made up my mind. Of course, I know it was just a thought. Wasn't my thought, but at that point, I thought, all right, by the time I'm 50, I'm going to have my house paid off, cars paid off, and I'm just going to have regular bills.
Right on.
I missed it by 1 year.
Amazing.
So I was 51 when I paid off my house, I paid off my cars, and I'll never go in debt again, especially now that I know the truth about how the world works. It's all against you.
Yep.
The banks, they're not out to help you. They're out to stick it to you. It's just money in their pocket. The government isn't for you. They're just out to stick it to you. You know, I tell people when we get into a talk about government, I explain it to them as, I look at it as how the Israelites were when they were led out of the wilderness. Actually, it was probably their descendants. I think most of them died in the wilderness because they wandered for 40 years. But once they ended up in the land of so-called milk and honey, they seen all the other nations that they had a king, and they wanted a king. But they didn't realize that God was their king. He was the one that they needed to follow.
Absolutely.
And so they went ahead and got a king, and Samuel told them, if you get a king, he's going to take your sons, your daughters, your money, your livestock. No, we still want a king. Okay. And they picked King Saul. And why did they pick him? Oh, because he was tall and handsome. He had
a mess.
Right. It's no different now.
Yeah.
Different years later, different technology, but the mind of a human being is the same.
It sure is. 100%.
It's still evil.
100%, Brian. Brian, amazing call. Because of time, man, I could go on and on with you, but I got to end it because of
I
time.
understand.
But amazing call. Your son will live to regret moving his grandmother to his house. Ain't that much money in the world.
No, she's broke. She told my wife. She told my wife about a month ago. Something happened at the store. Her debit card got rejected or something, and my wife had to pay. And when they got in the car, my wife asked her, "What's going on with your card?" "Oh, there's just nothing on it. I'm broke." And my wife was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I've been broke for a while now." And I told the wife, I said, "Well, yeah, it makes sense because the Amazon distribution center here at the house stopped about 6 months ago." And I told her, I said, "I think I told you back then, I bet your mom's broke." Oh, and tomorrow we're going to the bank and getting my mother put my wife and me on her account. And now that she's with my son, we just want off. We want all ties taken away. We're getting our name taken off her account. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Right on, man.
Because if they go and start bouncing checks, they're going to come back onto me.
Absolutely. Brian, so amazing, man.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for everything you do for everyone. And I love you, brother.
Love you too, Brian. And you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
You got it. And I do the silent prayer every morning, every night, and I'm present all day.
Right on. Amazing.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Amazing call. I want to give you some examples. These are big examples, but there are small examples too. Of hell on earth. Katie Porter. What a mess. I didn't even know this female was running for governor of California. I'm like, what the? KTLA. Here's an example of hell on earth inside a human being. Remember to pray for your enemy. God said to love your neighbor as yourself. To pray for your enemy and not resent your enemy. When the last time you prayed for someone, your enemy or your neighbor? KTLA, gubernatorial candidate and former U.S. Representative Katie Porter is facing backlash before trying to prematurely end an interview with a local reporter in Sacramento, California. Watch this.
And the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered our follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about.
And she want to run the state of California. I rest my case. You still want a female to be your leader? Women were created to follow, not to lead. But no! What a mess! I didn't even know that she was running. Who is that? What a mess, huh? Emotional. I get so emotional, baby, every time I look at you. Or every time you look at me, however they go. Katie Porter once said her 12-year-old daughter was afraid of not being able to get an abortion if she were raped. What a 12-year-old girl is doing thinking about that? Why is this? From the issues, the issue is podcast? Why is this?
So on election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo is a rough sport. I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you? What happened? And she said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people, and how important it is for Democrats to have strategies, both at the state level and the federal level, to make sure that we can continue to protect people's rights.
What is she, a 12-year-old, doing thinking about abortion? What a slut at 12 years old. What the? Well, it's been said, I don't know if it's true, I don't know, but they said that she made that up. That her daughter never said that at 12. I don't know, but that's what it's been said. She made that up too. Political, a newly surfaced video shows Katie Porter blasting a staffer who interrupted a meeting. The former House member was taping for Biden administration. Watch it from Politico.
You ready for stat number 2?
I am.
All right. $632, which is how much you save in fuel and maintenance costs when you replace your traditional car with an EV, with an electric vehicle.
That's awesome. And $632 is real money. And I know here at UCI, we have a National Fuel Center Research Center. If we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose. Get out of my shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot. Okay, I'm going to start again with electric vehicles saving us money.
What a bitch. Amazing. And you want that to run your country. Amazing, huh? If that female getting in charge, her hands on California, you think Gavin Newsom did a bad job? And he did. She's going to make Gavin look like an angel. From hell, but still an angel. What the? If y'all get on the airplane, make sure all the black people are behind you, because they're going to block you, especially black females, to prevent you from getting off the plane in time. If you doubt me, watch this from X. A woman refused to let an entire airplane full of passengers exit before she wanted her daughter, who is several seats behind her, to be let up first. What's wrong with the blacks? Watch this from X.
He's not moving. She won't let us get by, man.
What is wrong with you? I would hate to be your daughter and have to go home with you. No wonder she's back. Grab our suitcase, please.
Wait
you
inside.
know what?
You want to
you
need to be real careful because I haven't said anything to you. I haven't said anything to you all. Don't say shit to me. They won't let my daughter pass, and I need. I'm not getting off without her.
Until she can get up here. That's
No, why they can't let her come pass?
They're trying to come from the back of the plane and get off first.
Why did you come from the back of the plane?
Ask what row she was in. It's going to be a one-way. It's going to be hard for everyone to
But
move
why
their
they
bags
can't? Why they can't let her pass?
You haven't been on this plane long enough, lady.
Mind your mother business. Mind your mother business.
I'm sorry, but
nobody said nothing to you, and you not the problem solver.
This is my
You
business.
are not the problem solver. You are not the problem
No,
solver.
but you are the
She
problem.
Here.
You're the
She,
problem.
No, you are the problem.
Oh, I'm the problem.
No, she actually.
Get out of the way.
That's why security. And I asked her a question.
Why are they letting that? Why are the workers on the airplane letting the heifer get away with that? White people are afraid of the blacks. She like controlling all those white people. One fat black woman sitting up there controlling the whole plane. Even the steward is afraid to tell her what's wrong with the blacks. They can't go on a cruise and act right. They can't go to an amusement park and act right. They can't go to the baseball game and act right. They can't even be on an airplane and act right. What's your selfish heifer, huh? White people, do what you want. It's time to separate from the black. It's completely time to separate. What I noticed too, now I could be wrong about this, so correct me if I'm wrong. I really can be wrong. You hear me saying I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm admitting it. I could be wrong about this one. I'm admitting it. I could be wrong about this one. But I noticed that races don't mix. I know how all these illegals are coming into our country. They're here now. They don't mix with other races. They all go to their corners and they fight. This is why you're not supposed to let different races into your country. They don't mix. And I know it's because of the anger of the hearts, the evil of the heart, that races don't mix. But this experiment of mixing, becoming one nation, ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. Look what's happening in Europe. The white folk let the Alawaba people in over there and from Africa over there, and it's a mess. It's a mess. In Mommy Africa, South Africa, that is, it's a mess. White people had to leave their township and go to the farmland, and they still can't get along with the blacks. Races don't mix. My producer's telling me they don't assimilate well. They don't assimilate at all. So it's time to divide. It's time to separate. It's time. Baby, it's time to come home. Come home. It's time to come home. They let this one black female control the whole plane. Thank God she didn't have no bomb or something strapped around her. It's time to separate. Separation works better than integration. Integration. What do you call that? We all supposed, whatever they call it. Putting everybody living together. Integration. That don't work. I remember, speaking of that, a thought just occurred to me. When I was growing up in Alabama, white people and black people didn't live together, but they got along better. They got along better. Black people worked hard, did their own thing. White people did their thing, but when they saw each other, they were so nice to one another. They were so nice. They weren't making all these mixed babies and they hated one another and carrying on. Under the Jim Crow law, they got along better. And ever since the civil rights movement happened, they came together. It went to hell in a handbasket. So, white people, it's time to separate from the races. Let me go to, let me try T. T is back. T.
Hey, Jesse.
Hi, what happened to your phone? It dropped?
I was trying to get off the program, but then, I don't know, I guess I just dropped it all together.
All right. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you because I've been listening to you for a while, and although I know a lot of people think you're a heretic, but the thing, huh?
I was laughing.
Oh, but anyway, I love the when you talk about the anger and stuff like that, and that's really what got me listening to you when you talk about anger, because for a while I really couldn't get rid of the anger, didn't know how to get rid of the anger, but listening to you, I found out how to get rid of the anger, and I thank God that I was finally able to overcome the anger.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of people call you and talk about, be angry but sin not, that scripture in Ephesians 4:21, but they don't ever go down to verse 31 when it tells you to let all wrath and anger, God said, put it away.
Yeah.
They just go to verse 26, but they don't go on down to read through verse 31 when he tells you to put it away.
Yeah. Well, that's because they don't want to. You got to realize, if you haven't already realized, most human beings love being angry. They love being resentful. They love judging. They love playing God, so they don't want to let that go. Who will I be if I let my anger go? How will I function, they say. So they don't want to let it go. That's why they don't read further down where it says put it all away, because they don't want to. Yeah.
And another scripture that tells us that the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God.
Yeah.
And so if you're angry, it's not going to work any type of righteousness from God. So I love the fact that, that I found out you got to let it go completely.
Yeah.
Because when I would try to let it go before the sun come down, I just couldn't hardly do it. The sun would always go down and come back up again, and I'm still angry.
Yeah. What a mess.
I know. What a mess. But anyway, I hear you say sometimes you tell women he's not your son anymore, and I want to know, why do you say he's not your son anymore when you say that?
You mean
sometimes
like
you tell women
your child is not your son anymore?
Yeah.
Because they belong to God, and God only used you so that they can come through you to the earth. But after a while, you have to let them go. They ain't your baby. They ain't your boy. You ain't their mama no more, and move on. But most mothers would want to hold on to their sons for their life until they're 90. And they're doing that because they want to use the sons for and daughters, really, but especially the sons. They want to use them for their own personal gain.
Okay. So basically, what you're saying is he's not yours no more. He belongs to God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let him go and stop. You don't make him your husband, your boyfriend, and your husband.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to understand why you said that.
Yeah.
And
did you let your son go?
Yes, I let my son go.
And how old is he?
I have sons that are 30, 35, and 32, I believe.
And was it hard to let him go?
No, not after I heard you.
Right on.
After I heard you, I really could let him go. And I'm so happy I did because I have one son who recently, he had, end up in jail. And he was like, Mama, pray. You know what to do. Pray for me. I said, I'm going to pray that God's will be done.
Yes.
He said, what? He said, don't pray that for me, but don't pray for me because I want to get out of here. I don't want you praying God's will be done. I was like, what? I said, you want God's will to be done because even if you get out, you want God's will to be done. So I guess it was just a fear of me not being specific, praying that God get him out like I used to would do. But this time I just said, no, I'm going to pray God's will be done.
Right on.
And I did, and he still got out. And I said, see there, you still got out. It must have been God's will for you to get out. But he's talking about, I'm not going back there anymore. I was like, well, good.
Nice.
So
I remember,
but used to be, I would be fearful and be like all scared and like, God, please help my son. And oh my God, oh Lord Jesus, But this time I was like, no, I'm going to pray God's will be done. And that's what I did.
Beautiful. That's a miracle. I remember growing up, my grandmother used to always tell us, if y'all go to jail if you want, but just know I'm not coming to see you. I'm not, she would say, I ain't putting no money on the books, and you can't call me collect. And I'm like, wow, I ain't never going to jail. And I never went to jail.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't think he's going back either.
Yeah, let him go, let him suffer until he decides he's tired of living the way he's living. And he will reach out to the Father, and the Father will draw him back into home again.
Yes. And I think that's what he did. And another question, Jesse, I have so many questions. I know I can't get them all. I can't come to your church because I'm way in Georgia and you're in California. But if I was up there, I would go so I could get all my questions answered.
They have flights. They have flights from Georgia to California.
Yeah.
And we always get people coming in from Georgia and Texas, overseas, and everywhere to the meeting.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Just don't get on make sure you sit in front of the blacks because they ain't gonna let you get by once the plane lands.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, one more question because of time. Yeah. Go ahead.
One more question. What do you mean when you say identify with the truth? Because do we not supposed to identify with Christ? But you say identify with the truth. Do that mean identify with Christ? Or what do you mean by that when you say don't have no identity?
To identify with God. Meaning that, and the way you do that is stop having any identities at all. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions, good or bad. You're not your body. You're not your job. You're not your house. You're not a mama. You're none of those things. You're not a Christian. You're not a conservative or liberal. Have no identities, and you will only identify with the truth, with God, the Spirit of truth.
Okay, identify with God.
And once that all those false identity, once they die, life will appear.
That's good. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you stay with us, stay with us, stay with it.
Okay.
You doing the silent prayer?
I am doing the silent prayer.
Every morning,
At first,
night?
I was every day and night now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm doing the silent prayer every day and night.
And at first, you were what?
Lazy.
Are you black?
Yes.
I rest my case.
Yep.
That's why your boy in prison.
Well, he ain't in jail no more.
Nice. Well,
but I finally said I'm going to commit because I realized that I realized that listening to you every day, and I realized that, even just being a Christian, well, I don't identify, I'm saying I'm a Christian, but I am a Christian.
Yeah.
But even doing that, one thing my pastor had always taught us was to pray. And I'm learning just to be committed to that, no matter what you do. Like even with you got to pray. No matter what, you got to pray. So you're not going to get around that. So
that's right.
I just buckle down and say every morning, every night, I'm going to get up and do that stuff. Just pray.
Right on. And
Just
during
pray.
the day, God said pray without ceasing, meaning to stay present. And he even said don't forget to stay present. It's a great sin when you forget to stay present.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
and I'm still, okay.
You what?
I'm still, well, the man, the other day, he was talking about praise. I know that the Bible says, let everything that have breath praise the Lord. So what about, I do still go to church, but what about, but this is what I don't do anymore. I don't praise him out of emotions. I don't praise him out of feelings. I just sing the songs and don't, like you said, don't connect to the song, don't have no emotions and no feelings.
Right.
I just sing the songs now and still praise him with the song, but is that okay?
One thing about it, as you're waking up and it sounds like you're going to appreciate God in the right way. You will appreciate, and that's what he means. He doesn't mean all this hooping and hollering and waving your hands and close your eyes and looking up at the sky and carrying on. He means to appreciate him. And you will naturally. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
T.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Call me again. I got to run.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye now.